Ay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's get right into it, bro. How are you feeling today? What's your energy today? You know, we talked a little bit on the phone earlier, but how are you feeling?
I feel pretty solid. Today was a good day. I had work for 6 hours. Went and toured a potential place that I could live at and move into.
So tough.
I am starting to get like a little more used to the feeling of not having to do homework. It's been about four days, I think, since I turned in my last assignment ever.
Come on. It is so, that in itself is incredible. I don't care how many days you got to celebrate, but that is to be celebrated and cheered on about, because that is so tight, man. It's so cool.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy. It hasn't sunk in fully yet, but how are you feeling?
I'm cool, man. I got to do something I actually really enjoyed today, which is grocery shop. And I might be one of those few people that thoroughly enjoy grocery shopping, but we shop at like the best stores. So it always feels good. It's like selecting. So at a grocery store, right, you walk in and like your average grocery store, like let's say a Walmart, I have to really hunt for the good stuff. Mm-hmm. But in this grocery store, in this little small town, it's a natural store. So it's all organic. Everything is like, it's already picked from a pot of things. So it's like a very focused selection of all really good stuff. So I just have fun in there.
Yeah.
Finding different snacks and all that stuff is just fun because I'm an ingredient looker. I look at all the ingredients of things. So that was cool. And I always treat, so whoever goes and does groceries gets to treat themselves to a smoothie. And so like, for example, my smoothie consists of raw milk, whey protein, peanut butter, dragon fruit, mixed berries, and I want to say that's it. But so good, bro, so good. When you come into Cali, we'll have to get a smoothie if we're in that area. Oh, because they are so bomb, so bomb.
Like you make them, or are you getting them from like a shop or something?
Yeah, so in the grocery store, they just have, like you've seen it in grocery stores where they have like a cafe section where they can like cook stuff. And then on the other side, they do protein bowls, like fruit bowls, and then they do smoothies with those same fruit concoctions. Oh my God, so fire. But then so after that, I called Ty for a minute. We got to catch up. It's his birthday today.
Hey.
You got to reach out to him. Yeah, just let him know right quick. But yeah, it's been a cool day. I think I woke up feeling, I had a slight bit of anxiousness. Me and Mac had a really powerful conversation the day before. In the next, like today was just processing all of what we talked about. Super beautiful. Yeah, man. And I think all in all, I'm just so grateful that we are literally creating this legacy podcast that is so tough. Bro, this is I will say it as many times as it comes through, but this is so cool. I'm so grateful and honored to be getting to do it with you, bro. It's so sick.
Yes, the gratitude is shared, dude. I'm so excited. Every time we get this podcast going, like it's just so much fun. And that excitement, I feel like is not going to go away for a while. And the more that we build the podcast, the more it's going to become something special. And for those of you who are around right now listening to this episode, man, I'm excited for the future. We are going to have so many dope conversations on here. And man, it's just going to grow and grow. And we're going to keep feeling the fire and having good conversations. And the audience gets to grow with us. I hope everybody listening right now is also doing well. And ready to just hang out for a little bit, have a little conversation. This is episode 3, baby. Let's go.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
It's beautiful.
Now. Yeah. Well, you mentioned it a little bit ago, but I am taking a trip out to Cali to go visit my brother. I haven't seen him for a while. I'm so excited. We've already talked about being excited before, but I don't care. I'm going to talk about it again. I am so turned. I need to look at the place that I'm staying at too again and just be like, oh yeah, just to get the excitement back. Cause I mean, we booked it a fat minute ago. I don't even really remember what it fully like looked like, but dude, I know it's going to be such a needed trip. And the, a part of the trip is going to be a nice celebration to finally being done with school. And now that I am done with school, dude, I get to lean into all of these things that I've been wanting to do creatively, like this podcast, making content for it, and leading into the music, writing songs, putting songs out, working on an album. Like these are all things that I just get to lean in full force now and not have to prioritize spending time on assignments and homework. And not that it like the last semester truly was probably the best classes I ever took, and they were actually enjoyable classes, but it was just a huge amount of workload, so it was very stressful. But man, I can't wait to celebrate in Cali, dude. It's gonna be so fun.
It's amazing. I'm curious to get a little more insight on the actual balance and almost like dedication that it took to be you launched your music career in the midst of all this school. How do you go about that? Because I'm sure there's so many other listeners out there that could use valuable advice on balancing what they really want to do in this life with the thing that maybe they feel like they have to do. Their parents signed them up for it. Maybe they don't see the full perspective on what college can be. Maybe they feel a little bit lost. How did you find your way in creating and spending all this time in school?
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. I think if anybody that wants to do it, I feel like it's talking about school. I feel like whether you're in the transition going from high school to college, whether you're graduated from high school, you've been working for a while, considering college, it's definitely doable. You have to make sacrifices. But for people, in my situation, I was going to school, and I started my music career full-time college student, living on campus, taking 12 to 15 credit hours, which is about 4 or 5 classes, where you meet in person. A few were online, but you'd usually meet in person for an hour, 15 to upwards of 2 hours. And then obviously a whole bunch of studying and time after those lectures goes into it. But I think really I was lucky enough to not have to have a full-time job. I just worked part-time. So that definitely gave me a lot of time to not only do my homework and stuff while I was in school and study for exams and everything, but also start my music career and even have time to consider starting one. I think if you want to do it, but your excuse is that you don't have time, that's just not a valid excuse. If you want to do something bad enough,
you ain't buying it.
you have to want it really, really bad. Like you're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to say no to going out with your friends on the weekend every once in a while. Like being in a party town like Columbia is, a big school with a ton of students. Me starting my music career, there was times where I had to say no to hanging out with my roommates or hanging out with going out to the bar because I wanted to spend time on music. So there's just sacrifices you have to make. And looking back on it, I'm so grateful that I started when I did, because I had this thought the other day. I was like, if I didn't start my music or creating music when I did, would I have started now? Like, given my circumstances, me being done with school, starting a full-time job, what would I have started? Like, that's something you got to ask yourself now. If you haven't started, when are you going to start? Like, you just have to sit down and do it. It's not a tomorrow thing. Like, just look up how to do whatever it is and just start, man. That's what you got to do, and then the rest will figure out itself. That's the biggest hurdle, dude.
100%. Just starting with anything, and we've talked about this before, it's like taking the first step. Like nothing gets solved in the thinking space, in the coming up with like, how do I start? It so much of it is just starting, and something that me and you can both speak to is like, you don't need a bunch of fancy things to start making music. You don't need a bunch of fancy things to really do anything. Anything that you do, if you feel excited about it, give yourself a chance by starting, because you're not giving yourself a chance if you just let it sit in the abyss of thoughts, and not ever really acting on it. Most people have smartphones. You can get a music app on your phone. But again, this is for anything in life. Just getting the ball going by starting is amazing and beautiful. One thing I'll speak to in my experience in college is when I first started going to college, you might feel similar. I had no destination as far as like where college was going to take me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I just knew that to go to college, I had to go to play baseball, to continue playing baseball. That was it. I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't have an answer to any of those questions. But what I've learned in going to school for the first 2 years, I played college baseball, and then finding my love and passion for creating music my sophomore year of college brought a new perspective to what college could be as far as a tool. Mm-hmm. And to me, once I found what I wanted to do, picking all the classes that I actually wanted to take in college was amazing. Right. So cool. So, and I bring that up because a lot of times most people don't have an idea what they actually want to do. We've been going to school consistently. So to anyone considering college or going back to college, I would highly recommend finding what excites you first in life, period. Like with nobody telling you where you got to go, where you got to be, who you got to be, what excites you. And most colleges are going to have a tool or resource where you can sign up and take classes. Yes, it costs money, but a professor in the world of music for me was like a walking textbook. I had more questions than anybody in the class every single time. I would stay an hour after if he'd let me, and I would play him these terrible productions that I would make when I was first starting, and he would sit there. So cool. Forever respect this guy. I can't think of his name. But he would sit there. He'd be like, "Man, Ethan, this is really cool." He's like, "Can I give you some feedback?" I'd be like, "Yeah, for sure." But the way he went about it, I think taught me a lot too, because when I was first starting out, I had two very, very important people in my life in my corner. And that was the professor and Tyson, because when I was making the most trash things starting out, they never once said, like, you shouldn't do that. They're like, yo, keep going. You know what I'm saying? And yes. I feel like to speak on that a little bit, how do you find the confidence or the courage and the bravery to be like, okay, I can do this. Let me keep pursuing this. Because at first, everybody starts, even the legends, when they first touched it, I promise it was not what it sounds like today. Not even so close. How do you go about creating confidence? Did you have anybody in your corner that was like, yo, do this shit? And I think we've already touched on a little bit, like being that girl that supported it. Mm-hmm. But is there anything that sort of creates that confidence and courage in you?
I think a lot, as when I first started, when I was like 10 songs in of trying to write music, or even before that, like my first few like demos I exported and I listened back, man, one of those people was you. Like you I would send demos to you, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome, dude!" Like, and hyping me up. So that was a huge part of my confidence when I started out. And then also just I didn't really care what other people thought. Like I was simply just doing it to have fun, and the best part of it was just taking an idea, creating it, and then hearing it back and listening to it for me. Like, and I liked it. Like all the little demos that I would make, like even though they were horribly mixed, they sounded very, very bad. And they probably weren't the greatest songs ever, like as far as how they're written, if they're catchy, how my singing performances on the actual song, like shaky, but I love them. And I think that's me liking my own music gives me confidence in myself. But there was still a huge lack of confidence as well. Because those two things were me liking the songs I make and then you telling me that I should keep going. Those were really like the two things I had, because when I first started, I would be posting like little demos on Snapchat, or like before I even started TikTok, I would just send like little demos to some of my friends and be like, "Yo, listen to what I just made." And I would get some most of my friends would tell me like, "Oh, it's cool," or like fire or whatever. But when I first started posting on TikTok, dude, that's another story, because I don't know what it was. Like the songs I was promoting were the same songs that have like 15,000 streams now, and they're continuing to be found by other people. So like one of the songs I started promoting the most was Love Me Down. That was the one that I was posting a lot on TikTok. And to start out, mind you, this is my second song I've ever put out. And
which is insane, by the way. Insane. That a song like that is your second song you've ever put out. That's ridiculous. Continue.
Oh, well, thank you. But I was starting to post that one on TikTok, and so the videos I was making, they were far from what they are now, but not completely different. Pretty much the same concept, 15-second video of a part of the song. I would be in it like dancing, doing whatever with the caption. That's pretty much the same thing I've been doing for a little over a year. And boy, those comments when I first started, they were bad. Like I was getting a lot of comments like, "This is trash. This is garbage."
What?
Like those
are just haters. I swear to God, those are haters.
Yeah,
just talking shit.
But I would get a hate comment at least once a day, usually a handful a day when I first started. But then I kept posting. I was like, fuck it. Because I take these hate comments and I genuinely think they're funny, because I believed in the song. Like I knew it was good. I listened to it 200 times, and I don't listen to bad music. Like I know I have confidence in my music taste. So I kept posting it, and I would respond to a lot of the hate comments too. I wouldn't just let them slide. Like I would respond something funny back just because it was fun and entertaining. But I kept posting it, and eventually those hate comments turned into, "Yo, this is actually kind of good. Like, hold on." And then it's like the snowball effect, because when you go to a comment section on a video, like a lot of us have seen small artists on our For You page. If you are in like the small artist niche, you like finding music on TikTok or Instagram or any platform, you've seen these ads, or even if it's organic, someone just posted it, of a small artist. They got 10 or less comments, maybe 5 or less, 15 likes, not a lot of views. It just pops up. And if you see 3 people commented about how they like it, how they added it to their playlist, or it's good in some sort of fashion, that's going to snowball, because people see the comment section and they get this bias that, oh, other people like this. I think I actually like this. But then
the flock mentality.
Exactly. Exactly. So once that started to happen and people like actually started giving me feedback that they do enjoy the songs, it started to shift a little bit to now I've got one hate comment about a song being bad within like the last 5 or 6 months. Like over all my videos I posted, bro.
It's epic. It's beautiful. That is so tight. And I'm curious, when do you feel or do you consider yourself an artist? And what I mean by that is we have these identities, we have these titles, right? It took me a long time to be like, I'm an artist, I make music. It took me a while, like a long time. Like I'm talking about like a couple years in, what I then say, like when you see someone in public, they say, hey man, what do you do? Right? Such a common question. I didn't say I was an artist or like a music creator in a long time. I think almost until I was proud of my music, maybe. It was like maybe the first time I can like detail when I was like, oh, I make music. That's what I do. That's who I am, right? Have you already had that moment? Do you feel like when someone says, hey, what do you do? What's your response to that?
Well, this is a very prevalent question because and it almost for whatever reason depends on who asked the question.
Interesting. That's so interesting.
Like if it's someone my age, like I usually like now, if someone my age, we started a conversation, they asked like, what do you do? Like, I would tell them I do music for sure. But it's definitely something that I've started to do more, but I don't do it every time. And a part of it is like people have this connotation or like predetermined notion that because maybe like the people that they've heard them, like they told them they do music before in the past were horrible, or they just have this experience like that one guy in high school who did music and posted on his Snapchat story and it's just bad. Like I feel like there's a lot of that like negative connotation behind like telling someone you do music, but that's just for certain people, and that's just me getting in my head like way too much. But so like at work, for example, at my new job, I've told the people who are like around my age that I do music, but the other people I haven't.
Okay.
So
interesting.
It's just like I don't know, like so the people that I have told I do music, one of them pulled my Spotify and shit up on his phone and literally like had his volume on like 25% because we were at work, and
okay,
he played Out of Zoo on his phone. And he was just like listening to it through his phone speaker, and bro, his reaction was priceless. He was like, his first question, like 10 seconds in, he goes, "This is you?" And I was like, yeah. And he listens to the whole song on his phone speaker while I'm just like sitting next to him. And
insane.
He's like, dude, this is awesome. And then he like goes off onto who it reminds him of, like artistically and stuff.
Okay.
And then someone else walks in the room, one of our other coworkers, and he's like, bro, have you listened to Aidan's music yet? And so I'm comfortable with telling people that I do music now, and it's not like as awkward. When he did that, like I wasn't like all shy and nervous. I was like, I was literally sitting there going like this to my song and stuff, and like singing the lyrics and like doing my little dance. So the confidence of telling people that I do music isn't fully there, but it's something that's starting to grow and become more natural when I say it. I think it's because that I actually believe in my songs and feel confident in them, and I'm like proud of it, kind of like you said with yours.
For sure. And it's like, it's a total evolution, right? Like, because like you're saying, in the society, in the constructs of the way the world is, at least in the States, the artist way, especially if they've never heard of you, right? You're not Drake, you're not whoever with some name in the mainstream. because you're right. There was the one kid in high school that always made music, that even if they ended up making good music past high school, they still remember the kid in high school that was the SoundCloud guy that always was talking about his music. That so when they do play the song, and very quickly, I've just seen it so many times in my own experience. But as soon as they hear the music, they're like, "Oh shit, this is for real." Like, he was not playing when he said he makes music. Like, there's actually time, effort, energy, and you can just, even as an average listener, you can distinguish the difference between something that is well put together or not. You might not be able to describe what it is, but what I notice, and it was totally something I had to practice for a long time, to be like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I say, "Oh, I make music for sure." And they're like, "Cool," because chances are they either want to hear something, because I Ubered for a long time, and a conversation would just happen, like, "What do you do? Why are you doing this?" Whatever. And when I would play the music, I would see their whole energy shift. They'd be like, "Whoa," because in their mind, for their energy to shift that hard, somewhere in their mind, they're probably writing off that, "Oh, cool, he makes music, whatever." Like, I've heard that before, and then I've heard the product, and it just was like, whatever. But then when the song is played, it's like, "Nah, motherfucker, we do this."
And they're actually surprised. They're like, "Oh, dang."
Yeah, almost every time without fail. And it's like, that's just the result of putting time and effort and energy and love and soul into what we do. And, it's like, to anybody out there who feels a bit insecure about their music, honestly, a telltale is, do you love it? I think for myself, I didn't truly feel like I loved what I made. It took me a while. It took me a while to get there. And once I loved it, then it was like, okay, I can champion this.
Right.
Someone asked me what I do. I'm like, yeah, I make music. Like, I don't play. Like, I really, really do this, put love into it. Check it out. Like, I promise you're not going to waste your time going to listen, because you can tell we put time and love into our craft. And that's the illest thing ever. I'll never forget the person that inspired me to go engineer and literally spawned the whole world of Sunshiyami. Literally spawned it. And I've told the story before. I don't think I've told it on the pod, but are you cool if I detail it really quick?
Oh yeah, dude, I want to hear it. I don't think you've told me this. I don't know.
Okay, so this, one of the most profound experiences ever for me, as far as like launching my whole entire music journey, period. So after the first year in 2018, going into 2019, was the time when Pay Attention to Cable happened. This project took about 3 months of just like studio time during the winter, and going to the studio with my friends at the time, and we created this really dope project. Fast forward, and that, I would say that ended in about January of 2019, I think. 2018 or 2019. Project comes out, whatever. Probably 3 months down the road, me and Tyson together go back to the studio, and we're like, "Yo, let's go to 825 in Westport. That's where we went for this project. It was such a good experience. Let's go back." And we walk in. The person that greets us is our engineer. He's like, "Hey, you guys booked 2 hours. We pay." His name was Caleb. And I say his name because if he ever hears this, I would want him to hear this. I probably would never see him again, but this man changed my life, and he has no idea.
Hey.
The session starts. We walk downstairs in the studio. We already had the beat that we wanted to record to. We've been practicing, rehearsing, doing all these things. And this dude's vibe was like, it wasn't not cool, but he just kind of like didn't it seemed like he didn't really care too much, which was fine. Like just getting there, it was cool. 2 hours go by. We press play to see what we've done. And we listen in the studio, like, okay. Like none of us were really excited about it. We leave, we get in the car and we played it again. We did the car test away from the engineer, away from the studio. Bro, we hated it. It was so bad. Bro, so bad. We were like, bro, what just happened? Like we were both like a little bit devastated, a little bit confused, a little bit like it felt like we just got like abused in a way. I don't even know how to describe it, bro. It was such a feeling that we both found, or we both were feeling so deeply. And I remember looking at Ty and going, bro, I got to learn how to do this. I'm never going to let that shit happen again. Because the feeling was just like, we just paid this dude some money and he gave no shits to like really be involved, to really feel what we were bringing, to honor the energy that we were providing, all these things. It was the absolute opposite of what I envision a studio session should ever be. And in that moment was the moment I looked at Ty, was like, bro, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm never going to let that happen again to anybody ever in my control. And bro, I think 3 months after that, I started saving up money. I bought my laptop. I bought the MIDI controller that's sitting right next to me and a Focusrite interface, some headphones. And I think that's all I started with. And that was it. You know, it literally spawned because of an engineer that just did not. Oh man, I hope he hears this, because I hope from that point he's grown and learned to respect the craft and create a safe environment for artists to come and express themselves and all these things. Because that man literally is responsible for so much of what has happened. You know, he was at least like the fuel in the tank for me to be like, oh, hell no. I'm not going to another studio until I learn how to do it.
Oh,
and,
man.
You know, the rest is history. Here we are, you know.
Dude, that is so fucking funny, bro. When you started the story, I was going to be like, what I assumed was going to happen was maybe you like told him to make a change in the mix or something, and it was like actually really good. And and he was like, yo, like maybe you should start this engineering stuff, dude. You're kind of bro, complete opposite of what I expected that story to go. But that's it. It's a really important message. I feel like what I see is not every catalyst for you to start something has to be a good one or a positive thing that someone is giving you feedback on. It can be the opposite, bro. Like it could be someone being very bad or doing just a lazy job at something for you to be like, you know, I can do way better than this guy. I can do way better than him at this.
Totally.
Like I could learn how to do, I could practice and I could get my skill set to be well above this person and they're in this role doing this. Like just imagine what you could be. And that's a part of another thing, tying back to the question you asked me about confidence in starting. I think a big part of it too in the beginning was me listening to so much music and seeing these songs by artists that from a writer's perspective were nothing crazy, super simple. Maybe the mix isn't like professional sounding, like, but they still get hella views or hella streams on their song. I'm like, like this song is like genuinely like not that good, but it's popular to an extent and getting, you know, some good feedback. I was like, I can make a song way better than this. Or like imagining myself on the instrumental they're on. I was like, let me try this. And
yeah.
And that's kind of ties into like what your story was all about right there. You know, you had an engineer who didn't give effort or didn't really make you guys feel like your time was valued, and he did a poor job and didn't make the experience good for the artist. And bro, for you to take that and be like, I'm just gonna learn how to do engineering, and instead you could have been like, bro, maybe we're just not good at making music. Like, this ain't fun. Bro, that was
Right,
the other,
right.
you had a road right there, and you chose,
Yes.
you chose to take the right path. And bro, now look where you are, bro. This
Man.
the people listening probably don't know, but my brother is, unless you've heard our music, if you listen to any of my songs, that almost every single one that I put out is mixed by him, and he takes a horrible demo version of my song that you could probably go up to halfway on your phone volume before it starts to sound terrible, and same with your headphones, same in the car. Like, and he takes this and does the most magical shit to my songs. And I give you so much credit in the early success that my songs have had. Because, bro, if I did not have you mixing my songs, my pre-mixes would not get the traction that they have been getting, bro. Like, everybody listening who knows my music and knows, like, I have just under 10,000 monthly listeners, like this, however many streams, bro, a huge part of it is because of the other person on this podcast, my brother. Like, you deserve so much credit in it, dude.
Thank you. I can't take all the credit because your tracks, when they come to me, are not as bad as you might think. You know what I'm saying? Like, mixing cannot polish a turd. I can only polish what is good, right? So if it's good already, then it becomes great. But I cannot polish like just a little shit stick. You know what I'm saying? It's, even if I make that shit nice and smooth, like,
It's
it's still
doo-doo.
doo-doo. It is doo-doo. Like, there's no two ways about it. Any other engineer out there, if you haven't learned that yet, you might still be early in your journey of engineering. But I have spent countless hours, trying to make songs that just weren't good sound good, and it never sounded good because the song never was good. And like, that is probably one of the most important things I've ever learned as an artist. If it doesn't sound good in the demo form, in the roughest state, it's not gonna be good. Like, it's got to be convincing enough if you recorded it through an iPhone or a $10,000 recording chain. It's got to have the feeling, the emotion, because all of those things supersede technicality every single time. Every single time. And when everything in the chain is good, from the recording to the performance to the production to the mix to the master, that's greatness. But there cannot be a single weak link in order for it to be great.
Ooh.
And something that I've just learned over the years, because I started out engineering, all my friends made music and they had YouTube beats, so the production was great. But I noticed that something was just lacking in the songs that we would make when we weren't going to that studio, when we had the really good experience. So it just started out when I was, I would engineer, I would record them, figure out mixing. This is an engineer cut right here, but any engineer that listens will think this shit is so ridiculous. To compress a vocal, what I used to do before I knew how compression worked or what compression was, there's a song out right now called Mirrors. Okay, no, I digress. That song, I did learn compression. But the songs before that nobody's ever going to hear, bro, I would literally, to compress, I would chop one verse probably 100 times. And at the time, FL Studio didn't have like a clip gain function. It was complex. So I had to like make it unique, turn it up. And then I was doing that for like every single word damn near. And that was my compression before I could be just like, oh, let me just put a compressor on and do all of what I just needed to do.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, man, it's a journey, right? Because I'm self-taught. Like there was
Yeah.
nobody to say, hey man, just throw a compressor on there. You'll save 8 hours of time. And then from engineering, it was like, oh, but we need beats too, because we don't want to get them off YouTube, forever. So it's like, okay, let me try to figure that out, and eventually got comfortable making these beats and things. First song I ever put out that I produced, mixed, recorded, and mastered was Mirrors with Ty. That was the first one ever.
Song is so good. I still listen to that
It's super
song,
tight.
though.
Yeah, it's super, super tight. And from there, and then once I eventually moved away, I was like, okay, I don't have any artists to work with. Let me be the artist and take that seriously. And then that led to like Clue and Joe Callahan and Feelings Mutual and all these other songs where I'm like, okay, let me do this. And now, I think it is to where it is today where like I love mixing, but I really just love being a part of great music. And I think that's one of the coolest things that we get to share. I'll say this all the time too. It's us getting to collaborate together is like a dream I never knew I had.
Yes.
But God presented it, and I was just like, wow, thank you. I was just telling Ty about this today on the phone, man. I am eternally grateful for it, and it's fucking wicked. And it's the illest thing ever. I never knew my journey from where it started to where it is right now. We would be collaborating all the time, and it's like, it is literally the coolest thing ever. So cool.
Yeah. Dude, I'm forever grateful for it, bro. I mean, less than 2 years ago, I didn't even know I was going to be making music. And to have someone was experienced and could give me guidance and ultimately write songs with and put out, and bro, come on, bro. And it's just so special. And I'm so glad that you're a part of it. And it felt so right. Like the other day, you sent me that screenshot on iMessage, and you're like almost 1,000 or 1K listeners off of Out of Zoo on your profile, your Spotify
999.
profile. And it just happens to be 999. Like
Crazy.
our like family's number is 9, which is just, bro, everything. It just felt so aligned. Like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Like, bro, thinking about it gives me goosebumps, bro. Like,
Man,
it's so cool. And we're going to be saying the same thing about where we are 2 years from now, a year from now. Like, yeah, all this stuff's happening, and we started a podcast, but bro, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to be like, I never expected to be selling out an arena 2 years ago while I was sitting at mom and dad's house filming our third episode of the podcast. Like, bro, it's just going to happen like that. And I want to lean into that a little bit, and maybe you could speak on your importance of how you value this as well, or if you've practiced it throughout your growth. And it's manifesting. And this is something that has almost like I feel like it's almost overused, because like the term in general, because a lot of people like, oh, I'm manifesting this, but don't actually like go psycho to the point where not psycho in a bad way, but like to the point where they truly believe something to be true before it actually is true, and doing all the things necessary for it to come true before it actually does, but already having a belief that it happened, that it can happen, that it's going to happen, and what it's going to look like, and having the confidence as if you've already attained it. And I feel like that is something that has played a big part in my growth from starting music to where it is now and to where it's going and to where I know it's going to go is truly being delusional to the extent to where nothing is going to stop you and you already feel the gratitude for the things that haven't even came into your life yet.
Man. And I got caught up just listening and shit. What was the question there? Like how I go about manifesting?
Yeah. So what role I should have left you off with an actual question based off of what I just talked about. But so what do you feel is the importance of having a delusional sense of manifestation and belief in yourself? And how has any of that practice been relevant in your life? What are some things that maybe you have manifested? And how do you just go about that process? Like, how does manifestation in your life look for you?
Got you. Yeah. So I'm a very visual, dreamy, imaginative person. And that can be a double-edged sword. I can dream so big that sometimes it's like, whoa, that's crazy. But it's only crazy because somebody else probably said it was crazy. And what I find is that the quickest and swiftest way to align into manifestation and the things that I want to bring into this life and create and be a channel for or a vessel for is action. Action is the most effective way to align into anything for me. And, one of my mantras is action into alignment. I can sit here and think about aligning into something, but when I start taking action, all of a sudden things start getting created and sprouting and blossoming quicker than I could ever have imagined. And it's literally through taking those steps every day. Let's say like something that I am manifesting is returning to the live sound world in the next couple months and doing live sound gigs, 2 or 3 a month. I mean, two or three a week that basically replace the part-time gigs that I picked up because of the circumstance of us being in a small town where sound gigs were accessible, but an hour away. Because, and I'll get into this later, but we're figuring out our next spot that we're going to be in right now. It's going to be somewhere in Utah. But for that, with truly anything, let's say I want to, like somebody that really inspires me is Mixed by Ali. The sound that he is able to craft and create with the artists that he's worked with is the toppest tier to me. And sort of like my northern compass as far as like when I hit that sound, I know that I'm in a good space and to take that further eventually. But for me, it's like, okay, manifesting that I want to be in that category of just like the art, whether it's production, mixing as an artist, being top tier and making great music. Let's just say that making great music is my manifestation. To get there, I knew I had to buy a laptop. I knew I had to take action and get an interface. And I knew once I understood that equipment, I knew I had to upgrade my interface to something that sounds better because I'm able to actually hear the difference. I knew that getting, these certain things were going to help assist me in that journey, but learning the tools, taking the time, spending 8 hours a day just doing it was the action into alignment. And then years later down the road, I'm shaking Ali's hand at NAMM and he's like, yo, I'm just like, yo, telling him that I take so many things that he does, like stealing his tricks. It's like, bro, that's how it should be. He's like, man, he dapped me up, and he was actually he was smoking a blunt. And I was like, yo, I'm not gonna hold you up. I just gotta say these because like I'm standing right next to you. I gotta come up and just introduce myself. And he ends up inviting me in for a shot, which I was leaving, so we didn't do that. But he's like, bro, next time I see you, like, come take a shot with me. I'm just like, like the inner me was just exploding because this dude right here, like I said, is like the compass, and getting to meet him and a couple other cats. It's like, to me, that's manifestation. It's like getting into those spaces, taking action, answering the call when it's there. What is the call? When I say, okay, I want to make great music, the invitation was like, oh shit, okay. For me, it was, I got to learn engineering. I got to learn production. I got to learn how to be the artist. I've got to learn how to do it remotely. I've got to do all these things. And it wasn't the fact that I got to do it. It was, I get to do all those things because my prayer was, I want to be great. So for me, that was my response to it. And all of that is action into alignment. By taking those steps, I get to realize that I'm actually living my dream life right now. I'm in it. I'm in it.
Yes, bruh. Yes. And that is something that I need to remind myself of too. Cause bro, speaking for you, you are already great, bruh. Like, it's just a matter of people figuring that out too. Like, I know that. I get to see it because you're my brother.
I love you.
Your peers.
Thank you, bro.
Of course, bro. Your peers who know that you, like, they know what you do. They see the process of you becoming you and your work and how it's improved. Bro, you're already great. And it's just a matter of time before a bunch of people start realizing that. And bro, it's going to happen. In my eyes, it's going to happen so much quicker than you or I think. And that is going back to what made me think that and want to express that to you is what you said about reminding yourself that you are living your dream right now. That is so important. I feel like recently I've been getting caught up and all the things that I have to do, like work, getting a new job, finishing college. But at the same time, all of these things that I have to do or need to do are allowing me to do the things that I love to do. And in that same time period where I'm stressing, like I'm just getting through the day, grinding my butt off, like doing all these things, bro, you have to remind yourself every once in a while that you are currently living parts of your life that you're gonna reminisce on and be like, dang, bro, I wish I could go back to just being that starving artist, that person who's just working their ass off, like trying to pay off, this, that, and the third, but still like pursuing your passion, bro. That is fucking dedication, and that's the type of want you have to have. And if you have that want, you're not gonna give two shits about what anybody thinks about whatever your passion is. If it's art, drawing, creating, whatever it is, bro, that hunger is gonna subsede any bad feedback you get from somebody or like a random person or on the internet, bruh.
Yeah, bro, they're trolls anyway, man. And I swear that they've gotten to me before. Oh yeah, because like, like I've had videos where it's like 6 comments, 200 views. We all know that shit, bro. And like those 7 comments are crazy. I'm like, man, there is an art to reading those, because bro, I don't even read shit like that anywhere. Like nowhere ever am I consuming anything like that ever. Like ever. And what we consume during any day is our diet. If I look at social media, 1 hour a day, that is a part of my mental diet. It's like, bro, that shit don't work for me. We've been in a, me and Mac both, we both started the journey kind of similarly. Well, she was like, I'm just going to delete social media. I'm only going to download it when I post. I was like, fire. Okay.
Right.
She went 3 days. She went on this girls camping trip, came back. I was like, baby, while you were gone, I deleted all my apps too. Cause you reminded me that like bro, I looked at the daily average that I was averaging of screen time per week. I jumped. I was scared. I was like, bro, I am not meant to consume that much. Just to give people an idea of what I'm referencing. Bro, I'm seriously like embarrassed a little bit to say this, but it needs to be said. Bro, it was 5 hours of screen time a day.
Shut up, bro. What you just said, that is, I almost guarantee it. Everybody who is watching can go to their settings right now. If you got an iPhone and look at your daily screen time, bruh, you don't even want to know what mine is, dude.
Bro, I was scared. But it led me to literally go, wow, that's an issue. I'm missing out on 5 hours of like anything else. Bro, because any one of us scrolls for long enough, yes, you get what all the cookie data has collected on anything that you've ever searched up. You get things that are related to that, but every now and then you don't. Every now and then you can click into like a little rabbit hole and then you're consuming shit about bombs blowing up and killing people, and all of a sudden you've seen the cat that jumps out of the tree into the pool and it's like the coolest thing ever. It's super cute. And then you get for me, I get music content, and then I get like some like rage, like hate, fear. That is all getting consumed into that diet when I'm consuming 5 hours a day. It's like, bro, when I deleted those apps, I was like, wow, I kept feeling when I would reach for it, like almost habitually, like the time of day when I would just sit there and be like, oh, my phone, and just like pick it up. And that would turn into like an hour of just consuming something. But when I didn't have it, I was able to literally watch myself in an observation go, oh, let me reach for my phone and, oh, wait, they're not there. It was like, cool, that's all I needed. Because, of course, I could go re-download them. But the fact that they were just not there, it made it harder. So it was like, cool, I don't even got to pick them up. Don't even need to look at it. Like, what am I looking at anyway? More often than not, bro, I'm an artist. My page is filled up pretty much with other artists doing their thing. Instagram is like a highlight reel of all these other artists' life. Bro, I would end up comparing. Like, damn, my shit don't look like that. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, that's really cool.
Damn,
maybe I could do that.
Why don't my post get 20,000 likes?
Yeah,
like,
right. Bro, and what I was able to relearn, bro, every journey is different. Sun Chiami's journey is so unique, and it's going to have its own blueprint that people can look at and take inspiration from. Baltz's journey is so unique to Baltz. There is no other one of us or of anybody else, and that's what that shit reminds me. By putting it down, I'm no longer consuming all this other beautiful content that people put together, spend their hard time on. Bro, I'm not those people. I am me. So just downloading the apps when I want to post, bro, it's the perfect diet for me. Do you notice, like, have you ever tried something like that, first off?
Yeah, so when I quit baseball a couple of years ago after my freshman year at college, I actually deleted, I think, every social media account I had. I deleted my Snapchat, I deleted my Instagram. I'm trying to think. I think I kept Snapchat though. But I made a new account and just added like my close friends. because a lot of them I don't text. So that would be like the only form of communication we would get. But like I was off of Instagram, but now like where I'm at right now, I have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and that's as far as the social media goes. But bro, you're inspiring me to like, because especially recently, I've been spending. I try my best to just get on TikTok, post, get off TikTok, but it makes it very, very difficult. And the people who created the app are so good at getting you to just immerse into the app's algorithm, like the For You page. Because whenever the way I have my TikTok set up is I have multiple different accounts that I post on. And that's just for marketing strategy. I could talk about that for a whole podcast episode, bruh. But when I switch from account to account, one, it automatically, when you open an account, it puts you on the For You page and the videos within seconds is already playing. And you have to go click on your profile, hit the add button, go and post it, whatnot. After you post it, it's downloading at the top, but it takes you right back to the For You page. Bro, Instagram literally does not let you leave the app until your video or your post is done downloading.
Correct.
Like,
crazy.
Bro, they implement these things to get you to spend more time on the app because that's what makes them money. And it's crazy. I want to ask you like follow-up questions on when you felt yourself reaching for your phone or opening up your phone and getting ready to go to an app and it's just not there. Like, what was replacing that? Are you putting your phone down immediately and going and doing something that you're putting off? Or are you like, bro, like how, like what were some things that you did to get over that addiction? Because that's truly what it is, I mean, we're all addicted to our phones. It is what it is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it might sound cliche. It might sound like some shit you heard before, but it's true. I was more creative. It just like, bro, looking at my phone, and this is something I've done before. Wake up, look at my phone, consume content. That is the worst thing as a creator to do. That fries my creative energy, fries it immediately, especially if I wake up and do that. So, with that said, when I don't have these apps on my phone, we sleep with our phones on airplane mode anyway. We airplane them, shut them off. When I wake up in the morning, the most I'm going to look at is what time it is. I also have a red light filter I always put on my phone when I go to sleep. A little trick Paul Saladino put me on. So fire.
What does that do?
It
helps your eyes or something?
It helps your eyes relax. So like at night, let's say if I am looking at it a little bit at night, I can switch it to a red light filter and the blue light is gone. Blue light is extremely stimulating to our eyes and our brain and has all kinds of effects and wrecks our sleep also. But when I am without these apps and I'm reaching for it and I'm like, oh yeah, they're not there. Bro, I'm getting that thing done that I put off. I am creating so much more. I just am actively like, bro, my relationship is better. There's just more time for so many other things. And I'm also like hitting two birds with one stone. I'm not spending time doing that because, bro, time is the most valuable asset that we are in possession of. I promise. The second thing is, bro, it's diet. It is a part of our diet. And I stress that because when I consume all these things on social media and then I'm living my real life, wherever that is, bro, I sometimes don't even know what is mine or what is something I consumed. And that's an issue. For me, that's an issue. Like, I'm like, damn, why am I feeling a little bit of angst? I don't feel like I should be anxious. And it's like, I might have consumed that right off my screen. And the simplest way to put it is we are what we eat more than we know. And you don't just have to eat food to become what you eat. Like our diet is what we're consuming into our brains, you know.
Brain food. It's brain food.
Bro, when I cut that out of my diet, I got healthier. There's no science to it. And it's like if scrolling on social media is the equivalent of like a fast food restaurant, because that's what it feels like. Everything's so fast. You get it right when you order it. It's not the best ingredients, but you might get tricked into thinking something's healthy when it's fast food. It's like, bro, cut out fast food and you're going to get healthier. It don't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I look at scrolling on social media. I was cutting out fast food and I feel so much better. You know?
Bro, I'm definitely going to be so much more mindful of it now. Like I like genuinely the changes that, because I know, like, I feel guilty when I scroll on social media and it like, damn, it's been 45 minutes and I just sat there and scrolled on my phone. Like, because I know there's so much better stuff that I could be doing. There's always something I could be reading a book instead. There's just other forms of entertainment that I would feel so much more, you know, fulfilled doing.
For sure. Bro, what was the quickest song that you've ever made?
Oh man, it's Out of Zoo is really quick.
Give me like a time frame, rough time frame.
If I had to guesstimate, because I don't really keep track of the time when I'm recording, but
for sure,
probably 20 minutes. I'd say I'd be done like recording and working on a pre-mix.
Brother, let me fucking say this shit. I don't need to be a mathematician to do this. You made Broke Out a Zoo, which is popping off right now, in 20 minutes, roughly, give or take. 5 hours a day scrolling or just on my phone, screen time, 5 hours. You made a song that could literally change both of our lives that we're both a part of in 20 minutes.
Bro, that's a whole album. 5 hours is a whole album.
5 hours is enough to change a life. It is enough to change someone's life. Like, bro, there's so many things that could be done in 5 hours a day. I'm like, bro, the math of how much that takes away in a year is insane. I don't even want to look at that number. That would scare me. Bro, I sleep for 8 hours a day. If there's screen time 5 hours of my day also, that is 13 hours just hosed like that.
Gone out of every day.
Bro, every single day. And bro, that's not leaving me much room for the things I'm dreaming about, the things that I am passionate about to go create. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, again, you cannot tell me you don't have enough time in a day to do something, because I pull up how much screen time you've been putting on that phone and I promise it's going to answer all questions. If us as humans have limited our screen time, you don't got to get rid of it. Like 30 minutes a day. That buys us back thousands of dollars worth of time. Bro, my time is valuable. For me to be spending 5 hours of my time somewhere, that shit's got to be really, really, really important.
Right.
Especially daily. Like, bro, come on. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't listen to you talk like that and not feel like I want to change my habits, bro. And I hope everybody listening it feels the same, because it's genuinely, you know, you get that notification like your daily average screen time for the week. And bro, like I get that. I'm sure a lot of other people get that on their iPhones too. And you see the number and you choose to ignore it. But bro, that's a lot of time.
I swear.
And I'm guilty of it too. Like I'm right there with anybody else who feels like that they've been ignoring their screen time. Because bro, yeah, I gotta do something about it. I feel that.
Dude, it's like, if we correlate it one last time to it being a diet, bro, when if we start putting on weight, what are we going to look at? The food we're eating, exercise. What are we not doing? What are we doing that's doing something to our bodies? It's the same concept. Cut out the bad whatever, and watch the good pour in. Like it makes space for it, and shit's really real. It's really cool.
Yeah. So everybody watching, I encourage you to join me and my brother with this observation of our screen time and taking action. I feel like that was a big theme of this one because, we talked about getting started, getting over the hump of people hating on your art or discouraging you or getting that like weird comment from somebody in your family like, oh, you're doing that? Getting over that is taking action and continuing to do it. But let's do a little call to action to end the podcast. I am going to look at my screen time because I'm pretty sure last week was like almost 11 hours a day on average, which is like the entire time I'm awake. So
yeah, right.
So I'm going to take some action on it. I want everybody else that's watching and listening to, if you're not already aware of it, just look at it. And the number, I feel like, could determine if you want to take some action on it too, alongside with everything that my brother just mentioned about how it's changed his life. I think it's super valuable and could change a lot of other people's lives too. But don't forget to have notifications on for that podcast. You feel me?
Yeah, keep YouTube though. Shit. No, I'm playing. Watch this podcast, delete it. We come every week. Re-download the podcast every Sunday, Monday. We're still figuring out the best days to post. Re-download it. You'll see our pod up. Come on, man. Take action. It is time. The time is always now. Always now. Tomorrow is too late. Now is always the time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Mm-hmm. So much love. Love you, bro. Love all the listeners. Take such good care.
Love you guys.
Peace, man. We out.
Let's go.
Yeah, boy.